Howdy hoyo, it's Tuxi Boyo, and as you can probably tell, I do not use ad block. Oh gosh, maybe I should. Holy shit. Anyway, you can tell by the title, by the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about. Why is it every time I record a video late at night, someone's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna text Alex. That seems like a good idea. I'm gonna text Alex. Even if you text me in the middle of the day, you won't get a response most of the time. Like, I am so against texting people back. And it's like, no, let's do it in the middle of... Anyway. As you know, from the side of the thumbnail, we're talking about Ben Affleck joining the Andy Muschietti, I'm actually not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but the Ezra Miller Flash movie that's coming out in 2022. He's going to be reprising his role as Batman alongside Michael Keaton. Now, I feel a lot of ways about this, right? First, I do not want Ben attached to this project unless he is actually passionate about it, which, according to a quote from from the director's wife, Ben is at a place where he's ready to enjoy playing Batman again. So if that's true, good for him. I really do want him to enjoy being attached to the project. It seemed like he enjoyed being part of BVS, but something about Justice League and the way Warner treated him regarding Live by Night and the way the fans treated him after BVS came out, I really do feel like just it was a perfect storm of bullshit that ended up ruining his bad spirit. But if he is coming back to the role, if he's coming back to the cinematic universe, I don't know how long he plans to stay, but if he's going to be here now, I want him to enjoy it. That's pretty much it, you know. I don't need him to direct and star in his own Batman movie or anything like that unless that's what he wants to do. I'm not going to put my enjoyment of his portrayal of the character because he is my favorite live-action Batman. But I'm not going to put that above his needs and his health. Like, come on. He went back to drinking, you know? Like, he had to go to rehab. Like, he's been through a lot. And maybe that's in regards to Warner and all this stuff, and maybe it's not, but still, he's been through a lot over the years. Now, second, this is twice now that the DCEU, their more rabid fans have just campaigned and hashtagged and tweeted and complained and harassed and attacked Warner, DC, Ben, Henry, Zach, everybody online that would listen to them for years and years and years until DC cracked and somehow gave them what they want. First the Snyder Cut, and now Ben Affleck being back. And so the last 3 years of people like me saying Ben left the role because he didn't want to play it anymore, he wasn't enjoying it, it was bad for his mental and emotional health, being met with other people being like, oh, you don't know, obviously he blah 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 blah. And people that were seemingly living in denial since 2017 are now right, and people like me, who were just trying to look out for his health, are wrong. You know, I don't like when people are vindicated and being irrational. You know, holding out hope that Ben would be back, sure. Holding out hope that the Snyder Cut would be back, sure. But the level of craziness that you've seen from this fan base online has been absurd. And it feels like it's rewarding toxic behavior, really. I don't know. It's not exactly my place to say anything about that, but that's just how I'm looking at it. Now, next thing, him and Michael Keaton being in this movie as the same character. Do you remember last year when the DC Arrowverse decided to tie up everything regarding to at least Arrow with Crisis on Infinite Earths because they do the crossover event every single year? There was a concern from a lot of people, myself included, that because they were bringing in all these actors like Tom Welling, Burt Ward, Brandon Routh to play Superman again, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, all these actors to come back and play characters that you know them for, there was a concern among a large part of the fan base that they were going to focus more on just getting actors into roles rather than telling a cohesive story. And I never finished Crisis on Infinite Earths because that immediately became apparent, and I stopped wanting to watch it because it was bad. I legitimately thought Crisis on Infinite Earths was horrible, so I stopped watching it. I have a very similar concern here. This is a movie about the Flash. I understand that it's supposed to be a Flashpoint movie, and that the Thomas Wayne Batman was kind of important to that story because he helped Barry get his powers back, and he killed the Reverse Flash, all that good stuff. But Batman isn't the main character, and if we're looking at things honestly, Batman is going to forever be a more interesting, more marketable, and more dynamic character than the Flash. I don't like Batman that much personally. I much prefer Nightwing, regardless of how DC is treating him right now. The Flash is actually my favorite DC character. Not the Barry Allen Flash, the Wally West Flash. But I probably still would have gone to see this movie because it's a Flash movie, regardless as to how I feel about Ezra Miller's portrayal of the character, which I'll get to soon. But it's going to become the Batman show, you know? And again, I'm worried that they're going to focus more on, hey, look, we've got two different Batmen in this movie, and who knows who else they're going to get involved. They could very easily, by the time DC Fandom takes place, say that they've gotten Gal, Jason, Margot, and Henry to sign on to appear, you know? And I know that the Flashpoint movie focuses on a lot of elements. You know, Lex is a philanthropist with an actual kind heart. He's working with Slade to try to, fight for the little guy, while Aquaman and Wonder Woman go to war because Diana killed Aquaman's wife. I actually can't remember if that's from the comic or from the animated movie, either way. And you have the whole thing with Cyborg, with Superman. Green Lantern dies in a crash. We don't have to worry about that part, though. Like, I understand that it is a Justice League story of sorts. I mean, the graphic novel is what you could call it. You could call it a graphic novel. It's a pretty thick story, right? So there's a lot of elements therein. So yeah, it's going to focus on more characters than the Flash, but that works when there are years and years of history regarding each character. This version of the Flash has only been in one movie and has had a cameo before that. He, as a character, has not been established well enough yet. Like, imagine if the MCU was structured as such, right? You have Iron Man, and then you have Civil War, and then you have Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you have Captain Marvel, and then you have the Avengers, and then you have Ant-Man, and then you have Doctor Strange, and then you have, I don't know what the equivalent of Birds of Prey would be. We'll call that Black Widow, I guess. And then you have Avengers Endgame. You have this story that deals with the universe at large, but there isn't really a universe at large right now. A lot of the characters are in limbo. There's not a whole lot of work being done on the next Aquaman movie right now. Shazam 2 is also kind of sitting in limbo. Black Adam has been in production hell for like 7 or 8 years. We don't know what's going on with Superman. Like, it's not a responsible move right now to make a Flashpoint movie, especially with a rookie Flash. You could make the argument that, Barry making that mistake of going back and saving his mom and fucking up the timeline is more of a rookie mistake, but it doesn't really matter, at least not in that aspect. But this bumbling, awkward, goofy idiot of the Flash character that you have from Justice League, you're just not going to be very attached to him as he scrambles to figure out what went wrong and how he can fix it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Ezra's character, or the Flash's character, right? Barry Allen, Wally West, Jay Garrick, Bart Allen, they all have distinct personalities as the Flash. Barry is a smart, confident, adaptable, calculative character, right? Barry Allen, he's also kind of got like a heavy weight on his shoulders because he does feel some responsibility for what happened to his mother because of the circumstances surrounding her death, as he found out later on in life. But he's a very complex, layered, complicated character with a lot of, internal wheels turning at the same time. The Flash show does not capture that very well, and Ezra Miller captures that even worse. What you ended up with in the Justice League movie was just like I said earlier, like a bumbling fool who tripped over his own words and his own feet because he ran like he had polio, got embarrassed talking to a woman, you know, got upstaged in super speed by both Wonder Woman and Superman. Like, if your whole thing is speed, what's the point of... Like, there's two other characters that are better at it than you. And I think Aquaman might move as fast underwater as the Flash does on land, so... You know, we don't know how fast Cyborg can fly. Point is, the Flash did not really make himself indispensable in that movie, you know? Honestly, if you take him out, not too much changes. You just don't have to include that the rejuvenating water in Zod's ship needs an electrical charge to bring Superman back to life. Superman still gets brought back to life. The movie plays out in much the same way. Barry does not have really a moment in the movie. He doesn't change the dynamic very greatly. So what you have is this kind of nothing character headlining a major movie. And I feel like DC understands that they don't have much of a shot marketing this thing, especially because it's been in development hell itself for about 3 or 4 years now. I think that they decided the best way to sell this movie is to attach Batman to it. Or maybe in the future they'll attach Aquaman or Captain Marvel or Black Adam or Superman or something like that to it. Maybe they'll bring back Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. That'll sell a lot of tickets. People have been wanting to see what he's capable of as a character for a long time. That would get asses in seats. I feel like they understand that they don't have really anything too workable here, you know, because the quirky, lovable goofball character in Shazam, that movie was successful. It made 4 times its budget, but it did not make as much money as Wonder Woman or BVS or Aquaman. So I think they're trying to adapt their strategy and find some way to make The Flash a more profitable movie than some of the other movies in the DCEU have been. I have honestly lost all interest in going to see this movie. I'm not going to tell you to boycott it. I'm not going to start a boycott The Flash movie hashtag. Also, I'm not going to even get into that video with Ezra and that fan. I don't know the context. DC hasn't said anything about it. Ezra hasn't said anything about it. Also, I believe Ezra's non-binary, so I hope I haven't referred to them as he at any point in the video. I think if I've said he, I meant Barry. At least I really hope so. I don't want to get canceled over that. But yeah, I don't know how good of an actor Ezra is. I haven't seen Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I don't think Credence was a very interesting character in either of the Fantastic Beasts movies. So, as far as what Ezra Miller as an actor is capable of, I have no idea. But like I said, I'm not interested in this movie, really. I don't know how they're going to make this work. I'm sure they have some sort of plan, but I just can't get too excited about it, unfortunately. Anyway, that's all. It's time to record a video about the Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 63. But yeah, I'll see you in the future. But if you want, you can tell me what you think of Ben Affleck being back. Are you excited? Are you cautiously optimistic? What do you think about it? What do you think about this movie so far in general? Are you going to go see it when it comes out? If movies ever come back? But with all that out of the way, this has been Toxie Boyo, running so fast I splinter the fabric of reality, and signing off.